guys, Marco the dog trainer here. Today we're going to be doing a quick review of the Petmate Sky Kennel 21 inch. Now what they mean by 21 inches is the distance from the front of the crate to the back of the crate. And this particular model is designed for dogs up to 15 pounds. Now I've got another video that goes into more depth on the pros and cons of a plastic crate versus a wire crate, but ultimately the majority of the time I'm always going to be recommending these plastic Petmate crates to the majority of my clients. Now without going into too much depth, I think they're a little safer. I think they're a little bit more den-like, a little darker in there. I think that they're easier to clean. And I also think that they're harder for dogs to escape from. Now, why don't we take a closer look at this model in particular so I can walk you through everything you need to know. All right, so as far as the 21-inch model goes, it's pretty much three pieces. We've got the top piece, the bottom piece, and the door. And they're just kind of held together with these bolts here. We can put up to 6 bolts around the perimeter. A lot of times if I'm working with a dog that's not actively trying to break out, I just put 4 on the corners and that's usually totally fine. This particular model comes with the handle for kind of like a suitcase. Now, most of my dogs are 45 pounds and up, so I don't have the luxury of carrying them like a suitcase, but if they were smaller, that would be pretty nice. Now, another thing I'd like to point out is that the name Sky Kennel, I would imagine, comes from the fact that all of the different sizes of the Sky Kennel are actually approved for airline travel. Because there are certain regulations that need to be met when it comes to, if we're moving across the country and our dogs are going to be, boarded up on the plane. Now, one other thing is that all of the metal pieces like the vent and the door can be replaced as needed. So let's say 10 years down the road, the plastic looks really nice, but maybe our doors are getting a little bit rusty. We can actually just buy a new door. And that can be really nice because that's a lot cheaper than buying an entirely new crate. So it's a kind of a cheap way to expand the lifespan of these particular crates. Now, why don't we take this one apart so I can kind of show you what it looks like putting it back together. So when I take these things apart and I store them or I'm traveling with them, I usually put the top piece into the bottom and I throw the door in there, and that way it's just all kind of in one place and it's taking up a little bit less space. Now, again, putting it together is super easy. We just put the top piece on the bottom, make sure that all the holes line up. As far as the door goes, we can actually decide which way we want it to open, which can be really nice depending on what our house is set up like. Okay, we're going to throw this in there. We just have to make that choice before we start bolting this thing back together. Okay, now as far as the bolts go, super easy. We don't need like a wrench or anything like that. You can just do it by hand. We're going to put that through. And like I said before, we can put up to 6 bolts in. But for right now, I'm just going to put 1 in just so you guys can get the basic idea here. Okay. And that is about it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.